the United Football League, the XFL and USFL, we've talked about them over the last 2 months. All the helmets behind you, other than the top row, are UFL helmets, both past and present. We've got 2 big games coming up this week: the XFL champion, the USFL champion. San Antonio versus St. Louis. Who do you got in this game?
Man, that one's tough. I look at the end of the day, right now, I don't trust San Antonio special teams. Like, I love Wade Phillips. I think he's coach of the year. If I had a vote in the UFL media, and I'll do like all UFL votes probably this weekend. But I don't trust and Wade Phillips would be my coach of the year, but special teams right now is just a nightmare for San Antonio. Like, if this comes down to a field goal, I don't trust Ryan Santoso. He's missed. I think he started the season like 10 for 11, and he's missed. I want to say like he's missed 5 of his last 7 kicks, and a lot of them not been close. Santoso was not good in Jacksonville. When they signed Santoso after Destroying got injured, I was like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing because he was not good in Jacksonville. He does not have the strongest leg. I don't remember him making a single field goal with the Jaguars when he played for us in the 2022 preseason. I was like, okay, like I don't know what the game plan is here. And
now, does it help that they're playing in the dome?
I mean, I don't even think so because Santoso missed 2 kicks last week in the dome. He missed 2 kicks last week. So I don't even think it helps him there. He just can't hit. Santoso right now is struggling. I would say, all right, it's not the end of the world. I mean, Ahmed's not the worst kicker out there. I mean, he's not the best. He doesn't have a strong leg, but he's relatively accurate from inside 45. You could sign him, but the Commanders just signed him because the Stallions cut him because they don't need a kicker because they got Chris Blewett back from injury. So now you're screwed. I was like, okay, you can cut Santoso before the playoffs, get Ahmed, and you could be okay. But I don't trust San Antonio right now. If it's a field goal situation, if it's 4th and 2, I don't know if you kick. I honestly don't know.
Could this game turn into a shootout? Or their defense is just too good?
I think their defense is too good. I'd be very surprised, especially if it happened last week. I'd be very surprised if it turns into a shootout. Now, I will say the St. Louis offense has not looked the best as of late. There's definitely been ways to stop them. But, like I think San Antonio had the best game plan on Akeem Butler of any team we've seen this season. And that's really key. But I think that San Antonio is Lovett coming back? I don't know if Lovett's coming back. I don't know how. Like, is he going to be healthy? Because he was the best running back in the UFL. Is Lovett coming back? Because he was hurt.
I mean,
that changes a lot.
Yeah, it does. I mean, St. Louis played 2 games without their starting quarterback, and you could really see the difference.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you drop out your number 1 running back, you drop out a number 1 receiver, any of those skill positions, that number 1 person is the most important person, and not having them really changes game plans.
Yeah. I don't know if Lovett's going to be – if Lovett comes back, that changes everything. If Lovett comes back, that changes absolutely everything.
Right.
If he doesn't come back, again, it's not that San Antonio's running offense is bad without Lovett, but he just adds so much. He's like the only running back I've seen that I think could make he has like a running back 3 in the NFL, maybe a running back 2. He changes so much. He adds so much in terms of a dynamic element behind the line of scrimmage to the San Antonio team. If he's healthy, that changes things. But right now, I'm taking St. Louis. Right now, I would take St. Louis to win this game just because I don't trust their kicking situation and I don't trust their running game if Lovett's not healthy. I don't know the status with him.
Right. What about Michigan and Birmingham? They're going to be playing in Birmingham, which means outdoors. And Jake Bates missed a pretty chip shot field goal from what we thought in the last game. What's going on with these two?
This is another one where we don't have the injury status. This is another one where there was a dumb play last week. There was a really, really stupid play last week where Bryce Perkins is the starting quarterback, essentially, for the Panthers. He's better than Danny Etling. Way better than Danny Etling.
Right.
The game last week was meaningless. The game last week, Birmingham...
It was a backup game.
Yeah, it was... I mean, they didn't play the backups, but it was basically a meaningless game where you have vanilla schemes. You're not necessarily trying to win the game. You're just trying to get out of it healthy. Because no matter what happened, these two teams are going to meet in the USFL championship, and the game was going to be in Birmingham. Because even if Michigan won, there was a scheduling conflict. at Ford Field.
Right.
And there was a play where Bryce Perkins decided in the open field to hurdle a guy. And he got injured, and he had to leave the game, and he didn't come back. I don't know if he's going to be healthy. But this game, I don't trust Michigan with Danny Etling at quarterback. I don't know how you can. I think Perkins is way better than Etling, and I don't know how you can trust him if Perkins is not ready to go.
I will say that unlike the NFL, who is really transparent with injuries and with talking about timelines for their players to come back on major injuries, the UFL has been kind of quiet when it comes to injury reporting.
Yeah.
Do you think that's just the difference of coverage, or do you think that's the fact that we're dealing with essentially minor league versus national juggernaut?
I think part of it's difference of coverage. I think part of it is the fact that these teams are not training in their home cities, so there's no local media. It's
Right.
they're all practicing in Texas and they're flying out for the game. So I think
Yeah,
that plays a part
they're
in
in
it.
DFW.
Yeah, and there's very few interviews made. I actually just saw that. I just looked it up on Twitter. Danny Etling will start at QB. Bryce Perkins' status currently unknown, but head coach Mike Nolan is hopeful he can be active for Saturday. Which
At least he's not dealing with something broke.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be active. But then why would Etling be starting? Because he's not. We know he's not the guy. Yeah,
So who do you got for this game? I mean, is it Birmingham?
You can't bet against Birmingham. Now, I will say Adrian Martinez and the offense has not looked as good over the past few weeks. I think San Antonio figured out the formula to stop them. But Birmingham, you can't bet against Birmingham. You can't bet against a team that in the regular season, you can't bet against a team that if you combine the playoffs over the last 3 seasons is 30-4. You can't bet against a team that's 30-4 when the other team is playing their backup quarterback and the Stallions have who is probably going to be the MVP of the league.
Is this about like taking the Chiefs fully healthy and trying to play the Packers on their backup quarterback?
I mean, I don't know about that necessarily, but I would definitely say it would be kind of crazy to bet against Birmingham right now.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of crazy with a 9-1 record going up against Danny Etling and knowing everything we know about the Stallions. It'd be very, very hard to bet against Birmingham.
Yeah. So your predictions for the championship game are St. Louis and Birmingham, huh?
Yeah. My prediction at the start of the season was St. Louis, Birmingham. I think I had Birmingham winning it all at the start of the season. It's funny because I should have done this on DraftKings. I should have done this. You could bet like the odds for the UFL. It was like St. Louis was like plus 380 to win it all, and Birmingham was plus 300. So I was like, okay, I think these two teams are better than everyone else. If I bet on both of them, the same amount on both of them, I'm going to come out on top either way, as long as one of them wins. I didn't do it, and I'm kicking myself. I'm kicking myself for that because I think that would
who are your two MVPs for the two conferences for the regular season?
The regular season, man, I mean, MVP is kind of a quarterback award. I would have said Jake Bates for the USFL before some of
until he started missing.
But I mean, he's still really good. Like Michigan, there's like 2 or 3 games that are 2 or 3 games they don't win without him. But I'm going to say Martinez in the USFL and McCarron in the XFL. I think those are pretty safe picks.
Yeah.
For MVP.
Where would you rank Perez overall for quarterbacks this season?
I'd say 3. Yeah, I'd probably say 3.
Number 3.
Yeah. I mean, I know he led the league in passing yards. He played fine. Especially
it was their defense that really it was that Stoop defense that just couldn't hang on, wasn't it?
Yeah. That game against DC was a killer where they were up by, I think it was 15 points, 14 points
and Stoops just let them. Stoops just let DC run all over his defense. Yeah.
Like I really honestly think that Arlington at 3-7, I think they were a better team than DC was this year.
Yeah.
I think on the eye test, I think Arlington was better.